What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You're watching part 2 of the Velo 3D investor presentation. Make sure you watch part 1 before you watch this part 2. And of course, at the end of this video, you can wait for the end screen to see part 3.
This vehicle that SpaceX has been building for that is the Starship. And the Starship is powered by Disruptive engines, which is an extremely sophisticated, extremely innovative engine. Velo 3D technology has been critical for SpaceX and to solve the problems associated with the development and manufacturing of the Disruptive engines. And I can say that we are helping to power the breakthrough that is the Super Heavy and Starship launch costs through our help to SpaceX on the Raptor engines. SpaceX has purchased their first machine less than 3 years ago, and within less than 3 years, they bought from us 22 systems and became an investor in the company. Let's look at slide 13 now. We are operating in the market that is the high-value metal additive manufacturing market. This market is already a large market. It's a $100 billion market, growing to $180 billion market. This is the market of parts where the vast majority of the cost of the part is the manufacturing process. It's the conversion of raw material to the finished good. You find those parts in aerospace, in energy, power generation, as well as in a number of industrial applications. The additive manufacturing portion of this market has not insignificant. It's already reaching $2 billion, and it's growing quite quickly. However, with the unique capabilities that Velo 3D brings to the market, we would be able to accelerate the growth of this market in the next decade. And we believe that with our help, this market will reach $35 billion by the end of the decade, of which about $20 billion will be a segment of the market that is purely enabled by Velo 3D, served by Velo 3D, and we are the only ones that will be able to serve it. Think of that as blue ocean that we created, and we are the only ones that will be able to address. Turning to slide 14. So why high-value parts are so ideal for additive manufacturing disruption? If you look at high-value parts, you find them in complex products that have many internal parts and internal surfaces, internal features. Those are parts that are very difficult to produce, very difficult to machine, and those are parts with very long lead time and very difficult quality requirements. Additive manufacturing, in principle, allows significantly shorter lead times. It allows potential differentiation. You can get better products. But most importantly, because we are talking about parts that are expensive, where the alternative manufacturing technology is already quite expensive, additive manufacturing in many cases can be cost competitive with those parts today. There is a large opportunity already within this segment for additive manufacturing to be cost competitive without the need for a revolution in cost. What often is needed is a revolution in capability. That is the revolution that Velo 3D is bringing to the market. Turning to slide 15. So what is this gap in capabilities? So when we look at the existing competitive scape in additive manufacturing, in metal additive manufacturing, the vast majority of the market of metal additive manufacturing is by one technology, is powered by one technology. This technology is called powder bed fusion, and the companies that are doing that are in this market for a long time. The first companies that are in this market that started working on that in the previous century. This technology is very established, very mature, and the capabilities of all those companies are very similar. They are selling very similar capabilities with very similar limitations. All these products all these suppliers that I kind of refer to as commodity additive manufacturing incumbents, they share two very fundamental limitations. The first one is that if you have a legacy part, you generally cannot reproduce it for additive manufacturing without redesign. You very often would have to redesign those parts because they contain features that make them non-friendly for additive manufacturing. You would need to use what's called DFAM, Design for Additive Manufacturing, to make them manufacturable by additive. If you're trying to design a very high performance system where you're trying to design a new product from scratch, very often the optimal designs would not be manufacturable by additive manufacturing. You would need to start redesigning, compromising the performance in order to make this product manufacturable by additive manufacturing. Both those limitations are limitations that we are removing, allowing people to make the actual products that they want, the products that they need, whether these products are already existing products that they are trying to reduce their lead time, or whether they are trying to make new products with superior performance. In either case, we are enabling them to make the exact parts that they need, not the parts that the additive manufacturing industry for years, for decades, told them that they should be making. Turning to slide 17, we are solving big problems for big customers in big industries. We serve customers in the space, aviation and defense, energy, as well as other industrial applications. In all those markets, we are serving mission-critical applications, very often applications that are at the core of the products that these customers produce, the parts that are defining the performance of those products. And failure is not an option for those. I would like to talk about some specific examples. So let's turn to slide 18. Let's start with Honeywell Aerospace. So Honeywell Aerospace has a very significant problem. They have a very large portfolio of parts that they have been trying to move to additive manufacturing in order to solve their supply chain problems. They have spent a lot of time on that, and they have been successful in moving to additive manufacturing a very small portion of this portfolio. The vast majority of those parts are not friendly for additive manufacturing, but this does not prevent them from being manufacturable with Velo3D. Honeywell has been qualifying Velo3D as a manufacturing solution, and this qualification is planned to be complete in Q2 of 2021. Slide 19. This is an example of another supplier. This supplier is a supplier that sells flow control solutions for the energy and oil and gas industries. And they have thousands of parts that are consumed at low volume. So think of them as parts that are often consumed at less than 20 parts a year. But those parts have a very long lead time, sometimes 1 year and more. The result is that even though they are managing a very big inventory of those parts, very often there are parts that are missing, and this results in production disruptions to its customers. So this company has been working on creating a solution of spares on demand using additive manufacturing, but the problem that very many of those parts are not manufacturable by additive manufacturing. They have to be, by the commodity additive manufacturing, they have to be redesigned to be manufacturable. They are manufacturable with Velo3D, and the first parts of those are already in test in the field. This customer, as well as other customers in the energy space, in this opportunity of digital inventory, this spares on demand that is produced using additive manufacturing, they present a $500 million a year opportunity for Velo3D, providing the manufacturing solution that will produce the parts for those parts. Let's turn to slide 20. This is an example of a jet engine manufacturer that has a very different problem. They have been trying for a long time to consolidate an existing engine to one part. And the problem is that when you take this single engine and you convert it to one part by simple consolidation, the resulting part is not manufacturable by commodity additive manufacturing. It has a lot of features preventing it from being manufacturable. So this company has been tweaking the design of this part, changing it, doing simulations, but the best they were able to accomplish is an engine that has more than 25% degradation in power compared to the original engine. This makes this engine not usable. This is not acceptable solution. Velo3D has been able to look at this engine, look at this assembly, and not require all these design compromises. We have no problem manufacturing the engine as is without having to make all these design compromises. And as such, we can produce this engine accomplishing the same power, but allowing less than half the manufacturing costs and more than 10 times reduction in the production time.
While I have you here, I wanted to quickly tell you about the brand new First Trade app, available for mobile or PC. The platform will give you access to powerful and easy to use tools and allows you to trade with less restrictions, zero commissions, zero fees, and you can use the first link in the description below to download a free stock today without having to deposit any money. This will greatly help out the channel and is always appreciated. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Congrats, ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of the video. If you like what you watched, make sure you subscribe because I put out videos just like this one every single day. And please do me a favor and smash that like button if I helped you in any way, because it really goes a long way in helping the channel out and keeps me motivated to make videos every single day. Now, there's a lot of work involved, a lot of research, and a lot of time and effort into editing and putting these out daily for you guys. You can subscribe from your screen right now, or if you want to watch one of my other videos, I'm sure YouTube has some good content picked out for you on the left-hand side of your screen now. Thanks for sticking it out with me till the end, and I will see you guys in the next video.